If you're looking for the best Lunchbox amps, here's a list you must see. We made this list based on our personal preference and sorted it based on their features, prices, quality, durability, and reputation of the manufacturers and customer feedback. Also, we've included options for every type of customer. So let's get started. At the first position of our list, we have Hughes and Kettner TubeMeister Deluxe 20. In a world where Lunchbox amps are perceived to be little more than glorified fuzzboxes, the Hughes and Kettner TubeMeister Deluxe 20 will probably be an eye-opener for a lot of people. From the get-go, everything about this Lunchbox amp is in line with the H&K name, not least the blue glowing plexiglass control panel. Aesthetics aside, which in H&K's case are utterly divisive, it's the versatility of this Lunchbox amp that should be the main talking point. Taking its tonal cues from H&K's flagship Triamp Mark III, the TubeMeister Deluxe 20 can bring the crushing high gain that low-watt amps are notorious for, but it also manages to offer the pristine clean tones that this style of amp isn't traditionally known for. With a 3-band EQ and 2 channels, a clean and a lead, plus a boost option that actually feels like a third channel, the TubeMeister Deluxe 20 offers guitarists a lot of tonal control. Adding to this is the adjustable output, which enables you to operate the amp at 20, 5, 1 or even a totally silent 0W. On that note, what really sets this Lunchbox amp apart is its built-in Redbox AE ambient emulation feature. H&K's acclaimed cabinet simulator, it gives users the opportunity to record directly from the amp or even plug straight into a house PA for live performances. This 11/5 box could feasibly make up the bulk of your live rig, proving you can still get great tone without breaking your back. Moving on to the next at number 2 with Peavey 6505 mH. A miniature version of the highly acclaimed 6505, the MH has an awful lot to live up to. Thankfully, it doesn't disappoint. Like its bigger brother, this Lunchbox amp can be a bit of an acquired taste, but if you're chasing low-end heavy, highly saturated riffage, it can't be topped. At the same time, thanks to its clean channel, known here as a rhythm channel, getting a great sounding clean is not only possible but actually pretty simple to dial in. In fact, there's a lot of scope to this rhythm channel, and with the gain down you could use it to play everything from indie to blues. Add just a hint of gain and you're approaching hard rock territory. Of course, it's earth-shattering distortion that Peavey is known for, and this Lunchbox amp can do that just as well as the 100W version, albeit with less headroom. At 20W, the 6505 mH will hold its own for you in the live environment, and with adjustable lower outputs of 5W and 1W, it's arguably a more practical amp than its big brother, especially if we're talking about transportability. A lightweight amp in the hand, but not at heart. The number 3 position is held by EVH 5150 Roman 3 LBXII. Some people would have you believe that both Lunchbox style and 5150 amps are only good for metal. This is not the case, of course, and the EVH 5150 Roman 3 LBXII couldn't do a better job of proving it. Those familiar with the first LBX model may be skeptical, but the new and improved LBXII is far more than a one-trick pony. Thanks to the inclusion of a clean channel, the LBXII is capable of a wide range of tones, from snappy cleans to overdriven blues and the high-gain dirt that the 5150 range is so renowned for. A shared 4-band EQ paired with channel-dependent gain and volume allows players to experience total control over their tone without overcomplicating it. Overall, the 5150 Roman 3 LBXII is a well-built, travel-friendly, quality-sounding American-style amp at an accessible price. While it's capable of great-sounding cleans, it's still probably most suited to players who are looking for high-gain tones. Next at number 4 we have Mesa Boogie Mini Rectifier 25. The Mini Rectifier 25 has so much crammed into its lightweight 12-5.5 frame, you wonder how Mesa Boogie did it. With 2 channels and 4 style modes, clean, pushed, vintage and modern, you know you've got an amp that can cover a lot of tonal ground. It's this 4-mode setting that also saves the Rectifier 25 from being overly complex. From Fender-style tones on clean to the metallic punch you'd associate with this brand on modern, it's all pretty well there with a flick of a switch. In addition, each channel can be operated at either 10 or 25W, while a 4-band EQ gives you ultimate control of your tone. While the Rectifier is one of the most sophisticated and impressive lunchbox amps out there, at over $1,200 it's a huge investment and probably one that most guitarists won't be able to justify. At this price, a built-in reverb is sorely missing, especially as it would have added a lot to settings such as clean and pushed. However, you get the feeling that there just wasn't the room for another thing here. The number 5 position is held by Laney CUB-SUPERTOP. Want an authentically British sounding amp? Then look no further than the Laney CUB-SUPERTOP. Laney's CUB range is all about making boutique amps affordable without too many tonal compromises, and for the most part the manufacturer has managed to do just that. The SUPERTOP is a powerful 15W lunchbox amp, and though it may look kinda cute, it's loud enough for even medium-sized gigs. With a built-in digital reverb, the exact one used in the company's secret path pedal, a 3-band EQ and an effects loop alongside a wide-ranging gain, the SUPERTOP is good to go as it is, but also quite happy to take your pedals. It's most convincing when it's just slightly breaking up with a whiff of reverb, perfect for blues players. But it's also capable of producing awesome 70s-style stadium rock tones. The cleans are less convincing, so if that's your modus operandi, this lunchbox amp might not quite fulfill your needs, especially as you'll be working off the one channel. Overall, though, you'll be hard-pushed to find a better tube amp at this price. The number 6 position is dominated by Quilter 101 Reverb. If you're looking for true cleans and need something that's uber lightweight and transportable, then the Quilter 101 Reverb should be yours. At around 12/0.9 inch, this is a deceptively powerful little box, small enough to fit in the front pocket of your gig bag. As a solid-state amp, the Quilter 101 Reverb is also a lot less fragile than your standard valve-driven lunchbox amp, and you won't have to worry about breaking tubes en route to your next gig. It also means you'll be getting a lot more headroom, with this unit offering up to 50W of output. The other key selling point here is that the sound is incredibly smooth, offering perfect jazzy clean tones in ways that valve amps on this list just can't. At the same time, these amps are probably most suited to clean players and seem to be dialed in for single chord pickups. If you're going for big, beefy tones, this probably won't be the amp for you, as the bassness of humbuckers will probably prove too much and you may find it hard to find an overdriven/distortion sweet spot. However, if that doesn't apply to you, then this could well be a game changer. Moving on to the next at number 7 with Orange Micro Dark. The Orange Micro Dark is a tiny little guy that packs a filthy punch. Big things definitely come in small packages, because this thing is loud. Much louder than you would think at first glance. The Micro Dark is a solid-state, affordable version of the similar Tiny Terror series from Orange. The Tiny Terror is an all-tube version and packs an even bigger wallop than the Micro Dark. The price difference is pretty huge, though. The Micro Dark is what we call a hybrid amp. It has solid-state power, but relies on tubes in the preamp section. This assures that your distortion will not be brittle or weak. It will have the same amount of texture and saturation that the bigger Orange amps do, just in a much smaller package. The number 8 position is held by Marshall DSL-1. We recently talked about the Marshall DSL series in our guide to doom metal amps. The reason it made the list was because it was so versatile. The DSL series can give you classic Marshall distortion tones, or it can be a blank slate for your pedal combos. The only real difference in the Lunchbox amp version is it has less knobs. All of the great features from the rest of the DSL series remain intact, just dialed back. Unlike the Orange Micro, this is a full tube amp. You may be thinking that 1 watt isn't enough power for anything. But I can assure you, this is the perfect amp for recording purposes. You can crank it all the way up. I think this would power a single 12 or 15 speaker very well. The serial effects loop will allow you to add any pedals you want into the mix. So if you already use the DSL bigger brother, you will not sacrifice any tone while practicing or recording. The DSL Mini will just be a smaller version of your regular rig. Next at number 9 we have Joyo Mjolnir. Joyo is on this list more than once, and I think that is fair since the company is absolutely slaying the competition when it comes to a lunchbox amp lineup. It seems to be their specialty. But the Mjolnir is no joke. This is a fully featured design. Joyo gained popularity over the past few years for being a great alternative pedal company. Almost all of their pedals are very affordable, and the legacy of budget-friendly gear continues with these amps. The Joyo Mjolnir is a full-featured amp. It is just in a smaller package. It has some pretty impressive features and is a full tube amp, so don't let the small chassis fool you. So the Joyo Mjolnir is the real deal when it comes to features and specs. It has 2 independent channels, something unheard of in a small amp like this. Each channel even has its own EQ section, although limited. Just the fact that it has dual independent EQ sections is very impressive. The gain stage is similar to the Marshall DSL, as the tube setup is also similar. You can get some killer high gain tones out of the Mjolnir, but it doesn't slack on the clean channel either. The clean channel responds well to pedals, so you can add shimmering chorus and reverb. Add in a fully functional effects loop and you have similar features to a much larger amp. While 15 watts may not sound loud enough, I can assure you it would be perfect for band practice and smaller gigs. Finally, an amp you can really crank up with the band. Finally, the number 10 position is dominated by PRS-MT15. The PRS-MT15 is the signature amp of Mark Tremonti, man of great skill that I think gets and due criticism for being in the band creed. But people forget his own prog metal outfit, Tremonti. Mark has been a PRS artist for 20 years now, so it was only fitting that he gets an amp to go with his signature guitars. Paul Reed-Smith has only been in the amplifier game for about a decade, but he has made a huge impact with his American-made tube amps. This is a full-on tube amp built for the stage and studio. While it can power a Volkswagen cabinet, it is probably better suited to a single-speaker setup. The amp was made to take pedals well, especially a good overdrive to tighten up the gain channel. Although the distortion channel honestly doesn't need any help. The PRS-MT is heavy. It was dialed into Mark's specs to be able to cover all of the different bands that he is in. By far, the PRS is the most versatile amp on this list. Look at it as the luxury model of the Lunchbox amp. This is yet another Lunchbox amp that has 2 independent EQ controls for each channel. You can really dial in each channel's sound and use the foot switch to change between them. This makes the PRS-MT15 a perfect amp for a small stage or bedroom practice. If any amp on this list can take the place of your big rig, the PRS is the biggest contender. You may balk at the price initially, but for a Lunchbox amp that can honestly do it all, I think it is a good deal. That's all for today. We upload music product review videos every single day. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for the upcoming video notification.